So tell me what that's like. Enforcing the law on the west side, because that's where I'm from, and I know out here sometimes situations get sticky. Actually, a lot more now from what I've been seeing. But what's it like?
Um, most of my career was out this side. And what we talk about when we talk to everyone is every side of the island has its little problem areas. Every district has their little areas. I think Waianae has gotten a bad rap. I think it was a rap that I think the Waianae and the West Side kind of enjoyed for a while because it kind of gave you that untouchable type of thing. We're the bad guys, we're the tough guys on the island, stuff like that. But for the most part, it's a bad rap because every side of the island you go to, there's people that are going to be the ones that causing chaos.
Bad
and
apples.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is about it is a lot of times it's those couple of people that bring down the rest of the community. I've been fortunate enough to work in patrol out this side, eventually moving over to the community policing side. And, when you start really working with the community, you really see the heart and soul of where you're working. So, you see the passion that the people have for where they live, the desire to make things better, and not just accept what's happening, but again, having to deal with it. So, we do what we got to do.
Yeah, I can say this too. Like just being from the West Side, so that's probably some of the most aloha that I've ever experienced.
Yeah.
Where neighbors still wave at each other. People, they make extra stew, they take them over to their neighbors, and that's the old Hawaii that I remember. But dealing with a lot of the younger generation and the tantaran and the gun violence on the West Side, what's the solution?
Yeah. Talking to the community, a lot of times you hear things, and one of the ones that I really like and I've heard and really hit home with me was just the core family, just the core family. Unfortunately, people look at the West Side, Waianae side as more of the lower income, lower property value kind of thing, and it may be so, but it's not 100%. You have your great people out there that and they may not be above. Or may barely be above the poverty level, but they have the biggest hearts. But yeah, I think one of the things that somebody brought up one time when we were talking was that he has trouble getting home to his family because traffic is so bad. So his kids are there with just one parent most of the day because he's got to leave early because of traffic. He gets home late because of traffic. So you may have these kids running around doing their thing. Where they shouldn't have been doing, or the types of things they shouldn't be doing, based on the fact that there's not both parents there to watch the family.
Well, that's kind of interesting you bring that up because I remember my mom being gone, working 2 jobs to support my brother and I as a single parent. We didn't necessarily have the same mentality though. And what I remember is starkly different from what I see now. I think that social media and programming plays a big role in the mentality and what's cool, right? And music videos glorifying gun violence, movies, programming, the fact that social media force feeds you so much negative content, the kids are desensitized, and how did they even get the guns in the first place is what I want to know.
Yeah. Well, we've had some issues where with the new concealed carry laws that we have in Hawaii, there's been more people applying or actually purchasing guns. Some people feel with just the state of the country and what's going on, maybe I need to protect myself. Let me get a gun. The sad thing is not everybody's securing those weapons as they should be. So we've had cases where people are losing their guns because they're not secured. People are stealing their guns. Kids taking the guns because they're not secured, stuff like that. And then we do have that issue. I don't think it's as big as people want to make it seem. But my personal opinion, the whole thing about the ghost guns, where you can go and order parts all over the mainland, you get all these little parts and people putting guns together. We've had some instances where a gun that we believe was that ghost gun type of thing was used. Fortunately, there's been a couple of instances where the gun didn't operate properly and the police were able to do their job. But the thing is, what we've also been seeing is there's a lot more kids getting involved, and we don't know if it's because a negative adult influence is pushing them to, hey, if you guys do this, if you get arrested, it'll be a lot less. And then, one of the things that we've worked with, and we actually talked to the prosecutors about it as well, was, that you get some of these kids that are going to jail or going to DH for gun crimes, even maybe shooting somebody, even killing someone. And then if they're not waived over to adult court and they stay in family court, they come out within a couple of years. Now these kids are coming out with this moniker on their shoulder that, I'm a killer. And it may be boosting their ego in the wrong way and giving them this street cred that other people are going to look up to, and maybe they want as well. So,
what I was wondering is that, like, there's a lot of times where somebody will have an infraction or they'll break the law and then they're back out on the streets pretty fast. What's going on with that? Space in jails or the judicial system?
I want to say it's not the space in jails thing.
Okay.
I think historically people say that because we come under the Ninth Circuit of the Supreme Court, they're a little bit more liberal. So people tend to believe that the courts would rather, hey, let's give them another chance, or that's not as bad, so let's let them go, or we don't want to incarcerate them because of the situation that they're in.
But doesn't that encourage criminals to commit more crimes if they're not afraid of being locked up for a long time?
Yeah, and that's one thing that I work with the community a lot about, is trying to get them to understand, because one of the things we deal with is the homeless on our beach. People say, "Oh, what are you guys doing about the homeless on the beach?" Well, we do what we can. We go down there, we cite them when we can. Well, but they're still there. I said, yeah, because if you have somebody, or you have a society that doesn't care about the punishment is irrelevant. So if I'm going to get a ticket for being here, okay, well, give me my ticket and be on your way. I'll be right here.
Bro, tell me this. Homeless is a huge problem everywhere.
Yeah.
I know that drugs is rampant in a homeless community, but even the ones that aren't on drugs, the maybe mental disorders and stuff, or just people that had hard luck. Is it true that other states send their homeless here with a one-way ticket?
That's an overplayed rumor and story. The truth is we've done the same thing. But what we've done is, if you have somebody that's from the mainland, or even somebody from here, if there's a gentleman that I've worked with on the Evo side, he has family in Utah. He's from Hawaii. His family moved to Utah. We tried to get him some help, and we asked him, what can we do to help you? He said, hey, get me to Utah. Get me a ticket to Utah. And we tried. We worked with the senator. We tried to do it and stuff like that. But when we were ready to do it, he didn't want to go. So it's not necessarily that, governments or states are actually putting these people on and shoveling over to where they want, to Hawaii, basically. You get people there that you ask them, hey, what do you want to do? I have family in Hawaii. If I could just get to Hawaii. So there's agencies that help them get there in the hope that they'll get back to their family and they'll get the help.
Hey, if I was homeless, where would I want to live?
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. And that's the truth, because, you get it, especially when you get the ones from the East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Winter times, they're coming down and stuff like that. I ran into one guy a few years ago when I was briefly working in Kalihi. He's a homeless guy walking on the street, limping and stuff like that. And I asked him, I said, oh, how long you been? He said, oh, just a couple weeks. I said, well, what about you to Hawaii? He said, well, I have a bad knee and I need surgery. And where I'm from, they won't pay for it. And I heard that if I come to Hawaii, the system here will take care of me and I'll get my knee surgery. So, those are the kind of things that, if the social services are there, if the government is spending the money to take care of these people like that, regardless of what your status is, whether you're from here or you're just coming in here, you tend to draw that kind of people. I don't want to believe, and I haven't seen where people said, oh, the government just put me on a plane and sent me down here. It was more people that had explained that, oh, I have a job, or I was homeless down here. I came down here for a job, but I lost my job and stuff like that.
Interesting.